And when we saw these egregious displays of pathetic corruption and incompetence, because you have to be incompetent to do something like this, it was almost always women at the forefront of these heinous displays. Only the degenerate female psyche can make such a disgrace possible. This is a slight continuation of the video that I released yesterday exposing exactly what we're seeing going on, where the left at this point is just an operated cult against the interests of humanity, fueled by the resentment of degenerate, deranged female psyches. And when I say female psyches, I am referencing technically the feminine personality distribution as measured by scientific psychological models, meaning a high expression of trait openness and trait agreeability, meaning that you basically accept anything that you're told if the exchange is a deal that you're willing to accept, like being told you're a good person, or being told that you can call yourself a good person if you just claim that you're oppressed. And generally, this comes with a rejection of societal norms and expectations pertaining to objective reality that people have lived for hundreds and thousands of years acknowledging and living in harmony with. Like, you shouldn't be fat, or you should care what other people think about you. People that reject the norms and objectively derivable structures of reality tend to be psychopaths, because that's psychopathic behavior to believe that, oh, I don't have to worry about anything that anyone else tells me. I'll just claim victimhood as a result. This video here is a perfect example of what I'm describing.
Of straight white men having the power and everything, and it's like
This girl, objectively, and I'm not going to insult her, I'm just going to report objective reality here, is unattractive because she's overweight. But even more unattractive than her weight is the fact that her mind has been turned to mush. It's been turned to soup, goo. There's nothing there. Instead, what's there is just racism. She's just racist and sexist against men. And for some reason, the left, because they're so morally virtuous, gets a pass on being racist and sexist, I guess. That's just how good of people they are. You ever notice that? Where it's it's not just rules for other people, but it's slander of other people when they themselves are the ones actually guilty of what they're accusing you of. It's like they'd come up to you and be like, hey, why are you so sexist? And you're like, I'm not sexist. And they're like, oh, typical man existence of you, isn't that? That's just so male to claim that you're not sexist. You're like, isn't what you just did called sexism? Like, but it's because they're good people.
Like, we as women of color, as like students at this
There's the reference to their good person status.
university, like we're very much capable of certain things, and we don't have this.
Yeah, what you're good at is demonizing objective reality as inherently oppressive and untenable, given that it judges your ideological possession and thorough inadequacy by comparing your feeble cognitive state to the objectively realizable aspects of reality. That's called truth, and also why leftists don't believe in it.
Same privileges that are offered to straight white men.
And I've been hearing that from a lot of the ladies that I've been talking.
I'm so glad that this woman is a woman who's asking these questions, as you're about to see, because she violates the identity pact. Oh my gosh, what do you mean you're a woman asking me these tough questions? Because what she's about to ask her is, can you give an example?
So today, talk to me about what some of those privileges are that, straight white men have that you don't have.
Also, if you notice, the girl that's asking her this question is more attractive than her. If it were a man that were asking her this question, she would instantaneously just claim oppression based on the identity class. This is how leftists operate, again, referencing their proclivity to discriminate and be intolerant. You have the wrong identity, your opinion is less valuable. This is a destitute doctrine, let's be honest. It's been judged historically as one of the worst ways of conducting yourself, pretty much the worst way, actually. But because leftists are such good, morally virtuous people, they can engage in the worst ways of existing and still consider themselves to be superior. And that's what the left is about. It's about false superiority while being heinous and depraved and immoral and perverted, because all they really do is just wage war with reality. And if you look at her face here, she's just trying to come up with a way of reclaiming the high ground by being a victim.
Talk to me about that.
She's challenged.
I think I don't really know. Have you ever experienced like?
So guys, it's funny to like mock them, but what you're seeing here is actually her trying to engage in a domain which she's never been asked to participate in before, which is objective reality. Understand that she says things and thinks things and tells everyone around her things that have no connection to reality because reality is actually not a priority to the left. Full stop. I mean that literally.
Specific instance?
Like she just fully believes she's a victim with no evidence because otherwise she's not a good person. That's the doctrine of the left.
I also need to go.
I know, I do need to go. I'm sorry. I'm tired.
Yeah, I would not touch that with a 6-foot pole. Fauci would be very happy.